First thing, you're the AEW Women's Champion. Talk to me about what it feels like to hold a major title on TV again.
Well, so far I'm loving it, but hell of a target on my back. Work's very stressful right now. As much as I'm enjoying it, everyone's, everyone's targeting me. I've got the thing that everyone wants, so yeah, it's been busy.
Now, you've been with AEW for 6, 7 months now.
Mhm.
How would you say your time has been there so far? What's your experience been like, and where are you hoping the next 6 months will bring?
I've really loved it so far. I've really loved throwing myself into AEW and just, it's my life now. I'm on the road with them every week and I love it. I get to go out and, I get to go out and compete and perform for great crowds all over the United States and Canada next week, which is awesome. So I'm just having a really awesome time, as stressful as it is being champion, and I've high expectations of me, like it's a lot of pressure, but I just love being a part of the locker room. We have just such a great locker room, full of wonderful, hardworking people, and it's a great place. I mean, I feel like I'm at home. I feel like I've found a family within AEW now.
Well, that's great. And one of the things I wanted to talk about was the locker room in particular. So right now, it seems like Britt Baker is kind of the one who's been the biggest thorn in your side. Just, outside of the feud that's going on, what has been your impression of Britt so far?
I mean, she manages to get involved in just about everything, but that's Brit being Brit. That's that's just her. That's what she does. She's been, I would say, the focal point of the women's division since day one, and she loves the spotlight, and she's going to be in it. So, it looks like that's the thorn I will not be able to remove from my side anytime soon. But
Right.
I've dealt with crazier people than her, believe it or not. So I'm not worried. I'm not frazzled.
So have you been keeping up with AEW since day one? Because I know you obviously have been working a busy schedule for years.
Yeah, I've kept up to date with it pretty much, the whole time and as much as I can.
So before you joined the roster, who were some of the people that really stood out to you?
Ooh, good question. Who's one is Sky Blue. She's always stood out to me. I think she's one that will, could be a huge star. I mean, she already is, but I think she could, eventually become like huge in the wrestling industry and in AEW. I'm impressed with so many, and people like Chris Statlander. I was always impressed with since the beginning. Anna Jay, just such a great locker room, and just so glad that I get to be a part of it now.
I'm glad you mentioned Sky Blue because I'm from near Chicago and she's a Chicago girl. She always gets a big pop whenever they come here. So that makes
Yeah,
me happy personally.
she's
But
great. She's amazing.
yeah, and I love that she's been getting more TV time lately too. Now,
Yeah, and she's so young.
I know, but like, her being ahead of the game, I'm never surprised by that anymore because like, you were kind of ahead of the game when you were younger too. Like, it's, it's
Currently,
really just some people just click with this stuff. Like, some people can go
yeah,
10
she's
years
got,
and
yeah.
never, and never have a great match, and some people, their first match is great. So it's like, it's different for everybody, I guess.
Yeah, she's just one of them that's got it. You know what I mean? She's 20 years old, and I mean, I wasn't that good when I was 20 years old, so like, she's gonna be a huge star. I think she's got just amazing potential.
I agree. Now, somebody else who obviously gets a lot of attention is the only other woman holding gold in that company right now, Jade. Have you had much chance to interact with her? What are your thoughts about Jade?
Well, I'm so impressed with Jade. She's been wrestling for how long? Like a few years. just kind of didn't come from a wrestling background. I always find that interesting. But I came from a background where I started when I was a kid. Like, it's always been in my life. It's all I've ever done. She's kind of come into it in the past few years and just is incredible. You know, she's one of those people that's able to pick it up just so fast, and she looks like an action figure, for Christ's sake. So, you know, it's not surprising that she's a champion in AEW, and she's been a champion for as long as she has. But I'd say she's definitely someone that's just so impressive. Very good for AEW.
Absolutely. And I've gotten a chance to talk to Jade. She's great.
Amazing.
Definitely a good ambassador for the company. And somebody else who just came in who is probably going to be filling a similar role is Saraya. You have kind of had a couple segments with her. Talk to me about what it's like to sort of be involved in her first big wrestling storyline back after these years.
I mean, it's pretty cool. Like, as someone that's looked up to her for, you know, as long as I have and you know, kind of tried to follow in her footsteps, like, it's really cool for me to be able to get, like, the best seat in the house to see, you know, to really come back to wrestling and all the, you know, the crowd reactions and stuff. It's been really cool. I think she brings a whole different element to AEW. I think she's exciting and it's going to bring in more and more viewers. And, you know, I love having her around. I think she's going to really help us out.
Agree. Now, let's get back to you for a moment. You've already done a lot in AEW, like you're the women's champion now. So in your mind, like, what are the goals that you have now? Because you're at the top of the mountain, so where do you go from here?
Good question. Well, I guess my first thing would be to beat Thunder Rosa and drop this interim nonsense. That's kind of, you know, that's been bothering me. I think it's been bothering a lot of people because she's still calling herself the AEW Women's World Champion, and you know, I'm the one here every week doing the work. And oh, sorry, 1 second, someone's trying to call me. Oh, I just ignore it, right? Sorry, there we go. Sorry, so where was I? Phone just keeps beeping.
Just where you go from here, since you're already the champion. Like,
Right.
what goals
So
do you
yeah,
have?
first of all I need to beat Thunder Rosa, and then from there, I guess we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Right now, I guess it's about being a good champion. You know, being a strong champion. That's what I'm up against every day. I need to be. Well, I'm working harder than I ever have in my entire career. You know, the time is now. So I'm not sure, but I guess just really cementing myself in AEW and proving myself. I look at every week as just an opportunity to prove myself. That, you know, I love giving it my all, and yeah, who knows where we go from here. But all I know is I'm going to continue to work hard and see where it gets me, because so far it's gotten the championship. I'm doing pretty well, so yeah, I'm excited for how next year goes. You know.
Absolutely. And one other thing that happened this year, obviously, I've been following your career for a long time, but I've always, you know, researched people a little when I'm going to talk to them. And it almost slipped my mind that you got married. So obviously,
Yeah.
congratulations, but how has that been
Thank
so
you.
far? Like, what's the transition been like going from not necessarily single life, but, you know, pre-marriage to now being married?
Oh, it's the best. Yeah, we just did it in January, just kind of, we did it quicker than we thought. We were initially planning on doing the whole wedding thing, and then we eloped. And it's awesome. I love married life. It's very fun. We're loving it. And, Juice Robinson is who I'm married to, and he got the opportunity to face John Moxley last week. So, you
Yeah.
know, hopefully we'll be seeing more of him too. I hope. But yeah, married life is awesome.
I mean, the
Yeah,
forbidden
I'm
door is
married to
more
the
of a
past.
revolving door at this point, right? So he'll be around.
Right, yeah. Exactly. I'm sure he's always everywhere. He'll can't get rid of him.
Now, as far as that goes, like, do you have any aspirations? Like, I know you do things outside the ring already, but when the day comes that you do finally decide that the boots need to get hung up for good, do you have other things in mind that you'd like to pursue?
I wish I could answer that question, but like I really should. Like I'm 27 soon. Like it's sad that I can't answer that question.
No,
So
you're young.
yeah, like I'm still in that wrestling phase that I got into when I was 10. I can't get out of it. I think about life without it. I can't think about life without it. It's just like I guess now is probably the time where I start thinking about that kind of thing and what I'm going to do on the other side of this. But I'm open to suggestions.
Well, I mean,
I
you
don't
can
know.
obviously continue to be involved after the performance stuff goes away. Like, there's
Yeah,
always
I
being a
hope so.
trainer,
I would,
commentator.
yeah. I think I would like to do that. I'm always going to be involved somehow. I think, and yeah, maybe I could do something backstage. Maybe I could help the next generation. I don't know. But yeah, it's kind of looking like it's going to be in wrestling, isn't it?
Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Being a
Hell
lifer in
no.
this business has
I'm a
worked out
lifer.
great. It's worked out great for a lot of people. So,
Yeah. And
more
not so
power
good
to
for
you.
some, but I'm going to be positive. But yeah, I guess I'm a lifer and I need to accept that.
Well, I'm sure that'll make a lot of people happy to hear because I know that the people that I know in the wrestling community anyway are very big fans of you. Like, you're just one of those people that tends to have kind of a universally positive response, at least in the circles that I go in.
Oh, that's good to hear. That's good feedback. Thank you. I'll keep
So,
doing my best.
well, it's good enough, trust me. So, one of the things I kind of like to do is like a little bit of quick questions, like stuff that, you can probably answer in less than a sentence.
Okay.
So, when you obviously have to work out a lot, do you have like one favorite workout album?
Oh no, like working out, I guess you have to do it so much that if I kept listening to the same album, I'd go insane. So yeah, I don't
Is
really have
there
any
one
kind
you
of
go back
favorite.
to a lot? Is there one you like
Well,
constantly go back to, or are you just always cycling in new stuff?
yeah, I'm not really a favorites person, I guess. Yeah, I'm kind of a mixed bag.
Okay. Well, like,
Yeah.
if I know everything is digital now, but let's say you had a CD player in your car, like what CD do you think would actually be in there right now?
Oh man. I would go insane having to listen to one. I could not listen to a full album of anything. I don't know. I guess my millennial self needs that, that instant, I mix of everything. I'm way past any kind of CD or cassette.
Gotcha.
I'm here with my latte and my avocado toast, listening to a
You
whole
would have
heap
been
of
the
things on Spotify.
if you were like growing up in the 80s, you would have been the person making mixtapes for everybody, I feel like.
Yeah, that's me. Maybe I should do that now. That could be my side hobby.
Force people to go find a cassette player somehow.
Yes. Inconvenience everyone.
So, what's something that you would consider like a favorite cheat meal? Because obviously you have to
Oh.
keep a good diet.
My usual go-to is either pizza or McDonald's, but at the moment I've been having this mad craving for salmon sushi. I don't know. Maybe I miss Japan. Maybe, I don't know. I've been crushing sushi lately. It's been pretty impressive, I would say.
Now, one thing I'm kind of curious about, you've lived obviously quite a few different places, but I'm sure New Zealand sort of holds a special place in your heart. Is there anything food-wise that you miss from that part of the world that we don't really do here in the United States?
Well, I moved away from New Zealand when I was like 4, but I do remember these one things. They're called pinky bars. They're like this chocolate bar with full of pink, like chocolatey, I don't know what, fire. I definitely recommend finding one if you ever get as far as New Zealand. So far away.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have one of my best friends is in Australia, so I'm hoping to at least go there at some point to
It's a
visit
good place.
her, and then potentially go over to New Zealand because I'm sort of a Lord of the Rings mark, so I wouldn't mind seeing some of that stuff. Which actually,
Well, that's
I
part of
kind
the
of wanted to
process.
ask you about that. Like, I know that you obviously moved away from New Zealand young, but are those movies and all that stuff, does any of that appeal to you because they did so much in New Zealand?
I wish I could say that they did, but like I haven't even seen them. Like I'm not really a movie guy. To be honest, I don't know what's wrong with me. I just can't like focus on any movies or like I don't know.
So
I don't
what do you
know.
typically do for entertainment? Like if you want to veg out and not really go out and do something, like what is your source of entertainment typically?
Well, I watched that Jeffrey Dahmer thing recently. That was pretty disturbing, wasn't it? Like, I'm not really much of a shows person. I mean, I guess I am. I know sometimes I am. But that one was so disturbing. Like, I binge watched that.
I
You saw
know
it, right?
quite a few people did. Yeah, it was all
Yeah,
over
that
social
was
media for
intense.
a few days.
That freaked me the hell out. So, yeah,
That
that was
seemed to be the
recently.
general consensus.
Right? I can't get it out of my mind. Can't stop
Well,
thinking about it.
like the last thing I always try to do with people is actually like a movie review. But the good thing is that we don't always have to talk about something like current or new. I mean, I think one of the movies that Regal mentioned was like from the 70s. So it can be anything, but like what's a movie that you just really love, whether you've seen it recently or not, that you'd like to talk about?
Oh, oh, that's a good question. Well, I guess I'm a big Edward Scissorhands fan. Like, I have a big Edward Scissorhands tattoo on my leg, so I really like that movie. I don't know
What is
why. I just related to it, liked it, thought it was cool.
you don't know, like what was it about that movie that spoke to you? Was it the fact that it was like so different from anything else out there, or was there any particular aspect of the character?
Yeah, I really like Johnny Depp's character in that. I just thought he did such a good job. Like, I don't know, I'm always drawn to that movie, and like, it's one of those where no matter how many times I watch it, I'm like, I love it. I could just zone out to it, have it on the background.